This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. In yesterday's class, what we have discussed. Okay, this is the one I have explained yesterday. So in yesterday's class, where you can see all the Fiori apps list, Fiori apps, entire the Fiori apps, where it resides. So because you don't know where are the Fiori applications and what to configure and what kind of information you required in terms of configuring the Fioris, right? So to see the Fiori applications, basically we have a path called Fiori apps library. So here you can see all the apps will be resided here. Okay. It's clear, clear. Let me clear. Okay. Here you can see all the applications will be resided here. This is the library where you can get all the applications, free applications related information. Okay. So for example, if you want to configure one application in your landscape, when a customer come up with and ask you to configure some application, basically you have to search this option. Even you can put your name, application name, and you'll get the information here. All right. Okay, once you click this application, you can see in the right hand side. Okay, in the right hand side you can see what kind of application it is for which industry, which module. So it is relevant to data privacy specialist, and it supports the backend application can be supported by SAP S4 HANA, and the application type is SAP GUI, and the database is required HANA database, and the form factor it is supported desktop because it's GUI application. Okay. And go to the product features. Okay, you can see all the information about the product features, what is the use of it, and you can see some sample screen here inside the data how it looks like. And then go to implementation information. Here you can see how many backend version it can be supported, and you go with your backend version when you select it. Okay. And here you can see the important SAP notes, and it gives the information about it. One second, let me scroll down. Okay. And in the installation tab, and you have to focus on your product installation, versions and for your front end. So this should be there. Your Fiori for S4 HANA 79 and should be installed in our front end system, your gateway system, and this is the component must be there in your system. Okay, when you are trying to configure your application, these two should be must and should be installed in your system. Okay, until unless you install these components gets installed in your system, then you go ahead and configure your Fiori application. If it is not, you have to ask your basis team to install it, because uh, these work I don't think can do it in the real time environment even if you get the chance. Okay. And then go to configuration. In the configuration you'll get all the information about. Scroll down. Okay. Here you can see your role. Okay, your role, business group role and business role, everything you can see here, right? And once you can see your roles information, application catalog, technical catalog. Okay, all this information and the aliases. Okay, everything you can see here. Okay, and once you get it, and then what I have explained, you go and first of all, what is the first step you have to do? First you have to create your RFC. Okay, and then you have to create a trust relationship, and you have to create a trusted RFC, and all these things you have to do it in your backend system as well if you go with a central hub approach. Okay, as a fourth step you have to create a system alias. Go to SPRO. Okay. To first of all, to create a RFC, you have to go to SM59, like I explained yesterday. Go to click on new and give your RFC name, and the type is 3. And once you double click this, and it will ask for your, okay, you can give your own naming convention. It will not harm anything. And here you have to give the target host, which is your backend host, and the backend application instance number. Okay. And when you are configuring in the backend, you have to give your front end host, your gateway host, and instance number. And in the login and security, okay, uh, in the login and security, you have to give your RFC user and the password. Don't give your own user and password. Okay. And this RFC user will you should get it from your security team. And the second step is go to SMT1, okay, and then click new. Here it will ask for RFC name. Okay, click next, 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 and there it will ask for RFC name. Okay, just give your RFC name with existing RFC name. Okay, and it will pull out the data from your backend. Okay, using RFC name. Okay, and then it will create one entry, and it will create a trust between front end and a back end. And the third step, what I have explained, create a trusted RFC. Okay, to create a trusted RFC, again you have to go to the same T code, SM59 T code. But what is the different while creating a trusted RFC? Basically, change your naming convention is something like this. Okay, underscore T something to understand better, and your host name and instance number will be same. But in the login and security, okay, here you select as a current user, and then in the trust relationships you need to select as S. These are the two things you, will be different when you are creating a trusted RFC. Okay, once you create them in the both the
Hello.
yeah.
Uh, so what is the difference between trusted RFC and normal RFC?
See, normal RFC is basically it will create an RFC to give the communication between front end and back end. Trusted RFC basically it checks some other authorizations. Okay, it will help your OData and UFI to trust properly and give the result from your OData services to UFI using the system alias. It's a standard configuration. Okay, you have to follow
Okay.
in the system.
So the center things are one time we have to do it, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
And for creating a system alias, you have to go to slash and SPRO. Like I explained, you have to go to the path called SAP NetWeaver, SAP Gateway, okay, and OData channel configuration, uh, connection settings, and SAP Gateway to SAP system, and click on manage system alias. Once you click this, and you have to click new entries, there it will ask to provide your system alias, whatever the naming convention you want. You have to give the description. You have to select these two, and here you will be giving your trusted RFC here. And here you have to select software version as for launchpad configuration, you will be selecting this. Okay, and for loading all the standard Fiori applications, you will be selecting as default. And then when you save it, it will save it in the TR. And like I explained, you have to configure all these SSCF services. These are the UEFI ICF services in your front end. You have to go to the path like I explained. So execute this T code slash and SSCF. You have to go to the path. See, there it path is provided. Okay. I think you got this notepad. I sent it to Rizwan and ask him to send it to you. If not, you will get it. Okay. Uh, Go to this path, SAP BC UI, BC UI2 and NWBC. Like, see, to configure. So yesterday somebody was confused to activate it. It's very simple. Okay. Once you go to the path, you have option to click activate service. Okay, if you want to test it, Okay, you can do deactivate service. Okay, now it is deactivated. Just right click and activate it. That's it. Select yes. It is activated. There is nothing new you can do that. And there are 5 OData services. Okay, these are the services has to be activated in your system. Okay, to activate the OData services, the T code is /n/iwfnd/MAINT_CRVICE. This is the T code. You have to execute it. Okay, you have to search whether the service is already activated. You can search like this. Terms of going there. So these are already activated. If it is not activated, so like I explained, so anyways, I'll show you again while you are configuring one of the standard Fiori application, the manual method. So you have to go to add service and you have to select your system alias, whatever is created. Okay, and click on get service. Here you will get all the services. So if you want to like activate some service, just select this and add service. In case if you want to configure transport your configuration to further environment, you will create your own package. I think you are the above person, you know how to create the package and give the package here, or else you can select the local object and click continue. No existing service group found in the service group. Okay, there is a dependency. So because I just randomly selected, so it is, this is for some specific related to some application. Because when you configure the application, it may give some 2 3 services. You have to select activate one by one. So when you click this, it will basically, okay, let me deactivate this page builder and activate it. Okay, this is okay. I'm deactivating this. To deactivate this, first you have to remove the system alias, and you have to deactivate or deactivate this and delete this here. Once you see gray, and you have to delete this service. This is how you have to follow when you are deactivating your service or data service. Now you don't see. To activate it again, you go there in the list. Maybe since everything is selected as local, let me select the same. Okay, and search for, okay, this is the one we have deactivated. I'm selecting the same. So temporary, it's already selected. Click continue. Yes, see, this is how you will get the response. So the metadata is loaded to the service. The previous one was related to some specific Fiori application. So you have to activate the dependency services before activating it. So here again, once you activate it, go back and see whether your service is activated or not. Double click it. You can see the alias and you can see the status of activation. You can see it's green. Okay. And once you activate your OData service, okay, and you have to go to, you have to assign these roles. This is admin role and this is the user role. Admin role to perform some configuration task, and user role basically will give this role to the end user. And like I said, you should not give the standard role to the user. You have to create the Z role. To create a Z role, go to T code called PFCZ. Okay, this is the role, and I have created the okay custom role using that Z something, right? So since I have already created, let me search it, because there are number of Z roles are created. putting star here because I gave different name for creating zero here. So this is the zero I have created. Okay, like once you create, you go edit and you assign your user here and then save it. Okay, you have already assigned, so you don't need to add again. And then once you are done, then you have to execute the T code call /n/ui2/flp. When you execute this, it will take you to the Fiori Launchpad URL. It, in case if it will not take you to your Fiori Launchpad URL, you can just get your standard URL naming convention, and you can put the URL, change your host name and the client number. So yesterday this is what we have faced because it's not open the Launchpad URL. So this is pointing to some different services because somebody messed up with the system. Okay, with the standard configuration. So there is a standard URL. This is a standard URL. Okay, so when you want to, you can take this URL. So if you have a different client, okay, a different if you're working for different project, the only difference is you need to change your host name and the port. Till here you have to change, and then you have to change the client number. That's it. The URL will be same for everyone. Okay, once you give your URL, Fiori Launchpad URL, just enter your credentials. Sorry. And click on log on. So it will open your Fiori Launchpad screen, home screen. Basically, you don't get any tiles. You'll see the plain screen. Okay. Today, what we are going to learn is, so we'll be going to configure one standard Fiori application. Okay. Standard Fiori application in your landscape. Okay. And using manual method, and then with the automation method, executing the tasks and all. Okay. Okay, in the Fiori apps library, let me go and filter the same again to select the proper one. It's for HANA 1709 is our backend, and like I said, you have to select the components as well, like S4 S4 op. This is the component is installed in your system. This is the one is installed in our backend system. So both are installed in a single system. And filtering with this, I'm selecting some application here. Let me select some random one. Okay. You can see the information about the application here. If you go to product features and what is the use of this application, and you can see the sample screen here, how it looks like when you after you configure and put the data in the backend and pull out here. Okay, and go to implementation information and select your backend version. What is your backend version? Is 1709. So you can cross check whether this component are installed. These are already there because that is how we filtered it. So UI, okay, you must cross check these components before configuring because this is a mandatory prerequisite should be there. UIS for HP1 300 SP00, yes, it is there in the front end. This one, that one you have to check it in the front end, and this one you have to check it in the back end because ours is embedded. You'll be checking both the components in a single system. Okay, keep in mind. So that should be in the front end. This should be in the back end. Okay, SAP basis 752.00, this is there. And now we have to see this S4 core 102, SP00. Yes, both the components are there in the backend. Okay, now you can go ahead and configure it. Okay, go to the configuration tab. Here you can see the UFS services, right? Okay, you take this UFS service and go to the system. Go to the T code call slash NSSEF. Okay, execute it and put your service here. Click on apply. It will take you to the path. Okay, so it looks like it's already configured because I use RDS method because rapidly everything is configured, activated. Okay, so even if you want to configure again, like I explained, deactivate the service, again right click and activate the service. Okay, there are other service, just go and search it. This is also activated. If it is not activated, we just right click and activate it. Okay, these three are activated. So just like right click and activate it.
I have
And
one
to
doubt.
activate, please wait till the class is completed. So I'll clarify all the queries because
Okay.
it's affecting to the time. Okay, procedure is same. Okay, let me type it here as well. Configuring the standard feed application using manual method. First, what you do, like activate UEFI service. To activate the UEFI service, go to the T code called SICF and select the specific service of this application. For example, what is application we have selected is this. Okay, you have to take all the services. Okay, like go to the T code and search with the service and activate it. And to activate the OData services, same T code. To activate the OData, same T code. There won't be any difference. Slash and slash IWFND slash MAINT main underscore service. Okay, search these services. Let's take this service. Okay, go to the system. T code is slash n slash IWFND slash MAINT mind underscore ACRVICE. First, search whether it is activated in the system. First of all, to search it, go to find and put it here. Click this. Oh, it's already activated, is it? Okay, this is already activated. Let's search our four of them. If it is not activated, we'll activate one of them because the procedure is same to activate it. When you want to search it again, you have to pull this till home to select the first one and go and find it because it will search from the beginning. Okay, this one also there. Search the fourth one. This one also there. Sorry, the fourth one. Let's see. Oh, this one. Okay, let me remove this one and show you. To delete this service, deactivate the service. First, remove the system alias and then delete this. Okay, and delete the service here. First, remove the system alias and delete the service, and then deactivate the service and delete the service from here. It will be gone from here. And to activate it, go to add service, select your alias and search your put your service name, click on get service, you'll get the service name. Okay, just select that service, click on add selected service. Okay, you can select your local object or the packages, whatever you want, and click on continue. Sorry, mosquitoes. Okay, so it is activated and loaded the metadata successfully. Okay, once you are done, go back and search here. So it is there. So once you activate the OData service, the final step is assign the role.
Similarly, we have to add the old UFI service also, same way.
No, no, no. Just follow the procedure, whatever I have explained. Don't come up with your own ideas because finally you understand this. Okay, and like you have to assign the role as a final step to assign the role. To assign the role, go to the T code call PFCG. Go to T code, sorry. PFCG, then assign this role. So, like I said, so you should not assign this standard role to the user. Okay, you have to create the Z role. To create a Z role, again you have to go to the T code PFCG slash and PFCG. Okay, put this role, enter. Okay, this role is there. When you get the description, this role is there in the system. So just getting the content of it and creating your custom role. To create a custom role, you can give your own emission, but should start with Z or Y something. Okay, I'm putting Z oasis. Copy all. So the Z role is created. Go to edit option. Go to users tab and assign your user. Okay, assign your user and save it. So you have assigned the user. So, and the final step is you have to test your application whether you can see this in the Fiori Launchpad or not. Test the standard Fiori application. To test the standard Fiori application, again you have to either you have to go to the T code /on/ UI2 /FLP or launch the and access the direct Fiori Launchpad URL. Okay, both the cases it works. Okay, this T code is recently released. Earlier we used to access the URL only directly and just change the host name and the client number. When NetWeaver 7.31 was there and NetWeaver 7.4 also we followed it. Okay, go to the Fiori Launchpad and test it. Refresh this. What is your application name? This is your application name. Take a copy of it. Put it in the search box. Come on. Or else you can use Control F, maybe. Okay, I clicked on search, so it's hang now. I have to wait for a seconds, or else you can open new tab. Meanwhile, configure BOP segment. Okay, you got here. Put it like in the search box. Just mention your application name. This is your application name, and click on search. Or else you can searching. It's loading. So because there are bunch of applications are there in the system. It's almost there. Yes, here you can see. This is the application you have configured and assigned the role. It took inside the application. Inside the application because there is no data because and functional team has to configure the data in the back end and so have to like maybe audit developers also involves I guess and to pull out the data from the back end to put it into this audit as service. Okay, as a tech arc you configure this service and give it to the team so they'll work on the data and like and test it. Okay, this one is came. This is how you manually configure it. Okay, but in case like client come up and ask you to configure some 100 application at a time, because if you follow this procedure, okay, so for each and every application you have to go to the individual T code and you have to execute it, and which will take longer time. Okay, so because and when you are like your leads are giving the estimation to the client, so this is the time required to configure it. For example, if you go with the manual method, if you want to configure the 100 application, see at least you must require 20 days or 30 days, okay, to configure it, just to configure it, because before that you have to set up the system and landscape, which will take time anyways. But to consider this, he may not give the project to you, he will give to some other organization, because in other organization they are using the RDS method and they'll be configuring all the hundreds of application at a time. They are taking in a day. In a day they will be configuring everything and giving it to us for testing purpose. Okay, That is called RDS method. You can say automation method. So for that, you have to execute some task list. Okay, and I'll explain. These are the task lists I have prepared because I lost my old laptop got trash. So again, I have prepared for you. Okay, these are the task lists you have to execute it. Okay, let us go to our class note. Sorry, this should be in another pad because this is the third class. I'm copying it in the same class. Okay, we are done with the manual configuration. Using RDS is configure standard Fiori application using RDS method. Okay, to execute this T course, it's very simple. I'll tell you what kind of information you have to provide inside the each and every task. Okay, first one is basically as soon as you install the system, okay, if it is a fresh system, okay, you have to execute this basic task. To execute the task, go to the T code called. So for all of them, it's the same T code, so I don't need to mention and again. You have to go to the T code STC01. Okay, this is the T code you have to go and execute the each and every task. /n STC01. And what is the first task you have? As soon as you install the system, you have to execute this task first. Put your task here and click on execute. Okay, it's very simple. There is nothing you have to select. Simply just execute. In a seconds, it will be done. Done. That's it. And that's the basic task. And this one is creating an RFC and creating a trust. This task, I'll show you what kind of information you have to put inside. Once you execute it, you'll get this. And here you have to give your RFC name. You can see the it is asking to provide some parameters. Click that and give your RFC name. For example, S4 ANA. Okay, like that. Okay, and you can give your target host. Same thing, whatever you have provided there. It's the same thing, like it is going to SM59T code. This is, and it will be updating there. Okay, give your instance number. Okay, here you have to give the client number. 800, language is English. Okay, click on save it. Oh, this is saved. Okay, and you can execute it. Just ignore the pop-up. Okay, nothing to worry. Yes, like it is created the RFC and created the trust as well. Okay, it went to SM59T code and created a trust again. And the third task is you're creating a trusted RFC using this task. Again, go to this parameter, define parameters option. Okay. Sorry, you have to select, why it is not selected automatically. Okay. You have to select this, click this manual and just confirm this one. And you have to select this parameter option. And again, you have to give S4 HANA underscore T. Okay. This is a trusted RFC, which means, and you have to give your backend host name. I think name is okay, so Rana and 12. Okay, take the host name, paste it here, and the instance number is 12. Language is EAN, client is 800. Just fill these details. So it is selected this as a current user, and it selected trust is yes. So by default, it is taking. Just click on save and then back. So now you maintain the entries and just execute this task. Oh, sorry, one second here. Okay, again you can go back and execute. And here you can create an RFC and create, give your own alias, or else you can go with existing alias. So here there is an option to select alias with your host name, RFC name as same, or else you can give your own alias name here.
So how do we know, like, which for which parameters we have to pass, because there are 3 areas and you are passing only 2?
Which parameters?
Just if you go back to that screen, there are, like, 3 tasks where you have the parameter options.
Okay, so I just shown which are all necessary.
No,
Which
no,
are
no,
all
no. In this
necessary?
case, so
Here
in
only.
this
Okay,
case,
okay. Yeah, here there are 3. I think you are asking about this one, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what, like, how do we determine, like, determine, like, if there are, like, parameters, like, only we need these 2, but we don't need that kind of thing.
See, likewise, as I explained, right? So, like, these are the 2 parameters are required, and these 2
Okay.
parameters are you have to provide, because I
Okay.
didn't touch this. These 2 are mandatory.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is add the system alias. You have to execute this T code, and then in the gateway, basically, so here you can add your RFC, or you can define your own alias here. Again, if you want, this is an additional task, okay, which is not necessary, but it's optional case. So again, if you want to create the alias separately, because it's created to configure the Fiori launchpad in terms of going individual services, because you have configured bunch of the services, right? Where is it? Yeah, these all the services. If you go up, you have configured all these services in terms of going manually each and every service. If you execute this task, this Fiori launchpad task, okay, it will go ahead and activate all the standard services is whatever is required. Okay, just execute it. This will be done. Even OData services, right? There are 5. So it will configure by itself when you execute it. That is the beauty of these tasks. They closed it. Okay, not bad, right? Okay. Okay, and the before last, so you need to these are for configuring the standard Fiori applications. Okay, now your Fiori launchpad is ready. Okay, now you have to configure your standard Fiori applications. To configure standard Fiori applications, yesterday we filtered and downloaded the information in the system, right? So these are the information, okay, because you have standard Fiori applications and you have bunch of services are there in your system, okay, and in terms of activating one by one, so you pulled out this information So and here you can see all the list of UFS services is downloaded into one sheet. Okay, and to activate them in one shot, you have to go to this task. Okay, and select this and go to the subparameters tab, and here you can just copy of it. For example, okay, I want to activate these many. Okay, just copy, place your cursor here, paste it. Now it is selected. Just click save. Okay, save and go back. Click on execute. You can see the errors here. Okay, there could be some dependencies. Okay, these two services are not activated because there could be some dependencies with the components and all. MP WCQ, yeah, this one, and RSH. So ignore these two and activate this. So you get the errors when there is a dependency with the component. See, when you want to see this, and go ahead and go to the Fiori Fiori apps library and select that particular app, okay, and install those components, whatever is relevant to them. Because these are the standard, so you're not writing any coding. So whatever is there in the system, you are just activating it. There is nothing else you can do with this. See, others are activated now. When you remove them, you can see the results here. This is how we can rapidly configure all the OData services in one shot. Again, to activate the ICF services, to activate the OData services, there is another task called this. Execute it. I don't know. Now it's loading. Okay. Okay, and you can go here. You can see all the OData services you have downloaded. Okay, all bulk of them. Okay, let's select some of them like this. So you want to activate this all these OData services. First of all, you have to select all three of them. Okay, first define the OData service here. Okay, just copy and paste it. Remove the space. There shouldn't be any space. Click on continue. So it is considered all the 12 services, and select your system alias, whatever the alias you want to go for. And then here in the third task, so you have selected all of them, just click on save. So it is considering to activate all of this. If you want to remove from the list, and you can uncheck them and save it. So it is selected all 12 of 12. Okay, and execute this. That's it. It's very simple and very interesting as well. See, all these services are activated in one shot. Okay, and the final step we have is assigning the roles. So you said, so activating all the ICF services and OData services rapidly you have activated, but how rapidly you can assign the roles to the users? Okay, that is also I'll show you. What? just a name. Okay, let's go with our filters and select all. Go to list view. Here you have those. Let me select all. It won't be any issues. Click OK and download the Excel to your system. It's just downloading the information from the Fiori apps library. Okay, I downloaded this. Here you can find the roles information. This is a technical catalog, business catalog name, group name, description. Okay, this is the role. Business group name. What are the roles, man? Business role description only. I think somehow it is not downloaded properly. There's nothing to worry about it. Anyways. Your selection is this. It's already selected. Let's go to aggregate. Here also you can see the business roles. Yeah, in terms of going there, I can just copy this into the notepad like this as well, because I just need roles information. That's it. Okay, I'm just copying some of them. I need to copy all of them. Okay, in the OData service, let's go and create another tab. I'm just copied here. All right. Okay, anyways, I remove this. It's no use of it. So these are the roles. What happened again? Why it's coming? Okay, these are the roles you have copied. Okay. So for example, I just want to assign these roles to the user, these bulk roles to the user. let me take it to the notepad. So these many roles are there. I want to assign all these roles in a time at a time to the user. Okay, to assign the rapidly like collective roles to the users, same T code, go to pfcz, assign collective roles to the user, go to same T code called pfcz. Here you have an option to create a composite role. Let's say I'm creating ZOSS. I don't know what is the batch number. Let's take, I guess it's around 49 to 50. So let me take 50. ZOSS 50 and click on composite role and give some description. OSS B50 composite role. Okay, and in the roles tab, click yes. Yeah, you have to save. Give all the roles whatever you have copied. Okay, just enter. This role is not available, so what you have to do, you can remove this.
Role
Yeah,
for the user in a sense, it's end user.
sorry.
Assigning a role to the user in the sense it's for end user or the client.
Yes, end user. And you can these roles should be assigned to your like normal technical people as well, because until unless as a like auditor developer you tested everything and you feel if it is working fine, then it will go reach to the end user.
Okay.
Okay, okay, let me take this four roles. Okay, and save it.
Said that admin or user, there are two things. One is admin and another one is user. Admin for the admin
Oh,
people as well as
see,
developer
that is
people.
different. That is different. Okay, admin user for doing all these tasks. Okay, creating the configuring everything. Okay, in the new system. So to do all these tasks, you require this admin task, admin role user. Okay, and for user role is basically just to test it. See, for you guys, you will be only getting the user role. Base system will be getting the admin role because they perform some admin task in the system. Okay, now you have created this composite role, and but you have given all the standard roles. You don't want to assign the standard role to the user. So what you can do, take this composite role and you have saved already. You just go back and create a copy of this. For example, two. Okay, just copy of them. Yes, here just change the name. Z Oasis for all of them. Z Oasis. Z Oasis. ZOSS. Okay, you have created a you are creating the okay, you are creating the Z roles of all the standard roles at a one time. Just click continue. Now it is created, right? Just go back. Okay, this one is created. Just go and edit. You can see all the Z roles are created. Just assign these roles to the user. New ABAP 20. That's it. So you have assigned all the composite role to the user, and the final step is test the application. test all standard Fiori applications assigned to the user. To test it, either you go and execute is slash y2/flpt code or access the Fiori launchpad directly. Okay, so same thing as go and access and search your application here and test it. It will be there for sure. So very simple. So today you understand how you can configure the standard Fiori applications manually and using the RDS method rapidly, how we can configure all of them. So why I explain both the methods? So manual, when I explain the manual method, you understand when you are configuring where it is going and where it is activating, okay, and where it is configured. Because in the task you don't understand in the background what is happening, but using the task, this is helpful in the real time. Using the task, so for clients, you rapidly configure the Fiori applications. Okay, now if you have any questions you can ask me, so I'll answer all of your questions now.
What is RDS?
RDS is just a method, it's a naming.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Full rapid. Yeah.
Rapid
RDS meaning.
deployment
Full meaning.
solution. Rapid deployment solution, you want the abbreviation, it's not the meaning. Okay, abbreviation is
Sir,
rapid deployment solution.
what is that? I am not observing. Not find out the automation method is same, manual method is same. Any difference? I'm not showing
Sorry,
exact difference.
sorry.
I'm not showing any. Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Before you explain manual method, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we explain automation method, right?
Yes.
I am not finding any difference. Both are same. We are doing same manual method, but automation is where it's working exactly.
Okay, so what is the RDS method I have explained, and what is the manual method the way I have explained? Can you tell me? Because you have been in the class. The manual method, what are all the steps I have explained?
Yeah, manual method I understood, but automation method I'm not understanding exactly where it's difference. Both.
Okay, I think you're confusing. Okay, it's like, see, using the automation method. So in the manual method, like I explained, okay, in terms of activating individual services, okay, in the system, for one application you activated these three services, okay, and for one application you activated all these OData services. But if you execute this task using this task, okay, in terms of going to individual SSCFT code and activating this, okay, you can execute this task and you can take all the services. If there are 100 of services, you want to activate 10 services, 10 applications. For 10 applications, you'll be having around 20 to 30 services. You can take all the services and in this task, you can activate it in one shot. But if you want to go and go to the T code, again you search individual service and activate it, which will take time, right? You get me?
Yes, tell me.
Yeah. Again for OData services as well. Okay. In terms of going to IWFND code and search it and go and search the alias and activate it. So again for individual, you have to go and activate it. But if you execute this task, okay, you can give all 100 services at a time and activate it. Again,
Yes.
for role as well, using the, you can create a composite role, okay, and you can assign, if you have 20 or 30 roles, you can create a 30 Z roles and you can assign all the roles at a time to the user.
Yeah.
Okay, this is also one benefit. And using this task, see, yesterday I have shown multiple services when you are activating it. So now this. To activate the Fiori Launchpad, you have to activate all these services. Again, you have to go to
Yes.
SSCFT code and go to this path, okay, and search this path and activate it. But if you just execute this task, it will search all the services within the system and activate it, which will take just 3 seconds or 4 seconds. Got it, right?
Yeah, could you please show me that one once activate this one automation side?
Okay, just like put your service and execute it. There's nothing difference. Okay, let me show you. Okay, the T code is /n stc01. Okay, here you have to put your task name and execute it. So very simple, just execute. There is nothing else you can do here. That's it, done. Second, it took second, not just second, not more than that. But if you go and search all these services and activate it, it will take time again, and these services into these OData services, which will take time. Same procedure. Any other questions?
Okay.
So in the BOP segment, BOP segments you have that application you have configured, right?
GOP segment?
BOP
Right. We
segment.
manually we configured one
Manually,
application.
yeah, you manually
Right.
configure the application, its services, either front end or back end. You have configured, right? So,
Yes, yes.
developer, either OData developer or UEFI developer, will concentrate on that application, right? What he has to do. That will be.
Yes,
Uh,
it's a standard application. So you don't need to customize using UI5 coding something. Okay, it's a standard application. What you need to concentrate is while testing, you have to first of all you need to reach out to the functional team. Maybe I think you are the ABAPer, I guess. Okay, as a then you call it as OData developer. When it comes to Fiori, you are a OData developer. Okay, so you have to reach out to the functional team and ask them to create some data in the system, and then you have to anyways you will go to SCGWT code in the back end. Okay, you see the services, and maybe if the data is not pulling from the back end to the UI5 screen, then you involve and get it done. Just the data should be come to the this one Fiori type. That is
can
a
you
job you'll be
can you
going to do that.
pardon once again? Once again,
Mhm. Sorry,
can you
you
say
want me to
once
explain
again?
again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. You remember the application name?
Remember, BOP segment. Its name is BOP
Okay,
segment.
that's fine. Let me select some random one. So you want to test this application, some, okay, create report evaluation. Okay. So you click this. When you click this, there is no data here. So when you search it, again, there is no data. So let's see. Okay, there is some data. See, your job is to test whether this application is working or not. You have to test all the features, whatever is available based on the Fiori apps library. It gives descriptions and features and everything, and gives us a sample report there. Okay, you have to select and test it. Okay, you have to understand the application and test it. See, if there is no data, what you do, you have to reach out to the functional team. Okay, there is a different team called functional team. They will create the data in the system in the back end. Okay, and ask them to create the data. So once they create the data, and then again you go ahead and test the data here. Your job is test it
Yeah.
whether the functionality is working or not. In case data is not coming, then you have to go ahead in the back and check the services, and there are some clauses, standard classes will be there, and debug where the data is residing, why it is not coming to the UFI. That is kind of a job you do. That is very rare cases because it's a standard behavior. Data should come by default to the Fiori tile. Clear?
Okay, so it's a job of OData developer to solve the issue.
Yeah,
If
the data issue if it is
if
not coming to
data
the,
if
that
data
is
is okay,
basically, yeah, that is generally in the real time in a large client how it works. But you know the UFI development, right? You know the OData development, and you know the Fiori tech arc now. Like in terms of config, even there are some classes you will be understanding even better about some custom tile creation and theme designing and all those things. But for now, you know how to configure the standard Fiori application. So where you need to configure where the services are resides and all those things, right? So like now you can understand where the gap is, where the issue comes, and you can figure out the issue and resolve it. But in some of the small clients, you need to do all three jobs: tech arc, UFI, and OData services. All three jobs you have to do. That is what the clients are coming up with the requirement. They don't want to. They are not looking for multiple resources to perform the task. They're looking for one resource who knows end to end.
So,
In coming days.
what is the difference between uh, these are all standard applications, right? All these which you are configuring is standard applications.
Yes, standard application.
Uh, and what is the use of learning this UFI implementation?
Okay, I got it. So
Custom
you were saying
implementation.
that there are standard Fiori applications when you get the requirement to develop the custom Fiori application, right? That's what your question.
Already standard applications are there. So,
Yeah,
what is the
when there
use
are
of
standard, like thousands of standard Fiori applications are there. So why, what is the use of UFI developer to create a custom Fiori, custom UFS service and package kind of a thing? That is what your question, right?
yeah.
Right. See, in the standard, even in the standard Fiori applications, in some of the applications there are the features, and some of the application, because if you go to standard Fiori applications, in this application there will be 5 features, and in this there are another 5 features, and in this there are another 5 features. Features in the sense based on the customer need. In terms of customer wants to go with all these three standard Fiori applications, he will ask you to develop a single package with all the features. That is kind of a requirement client comes up with. This is one thing. And even there are, like 10,000 Fiori applications are there, and web GUI and web pro applications will not be supported by the mobile devices. Okay, it will not support by the form factor will be whenever you see it's a desktop, you can access it from the desktop only. So there are some features in using in the web pro applications and the web geo applications. Okay, if you want to access them in the mobile devices, then you have to go with a custom. Either you go with extension of the standard Fiori application, or else you have to create a custom applications. You don't want to go with a
Whoever asked
standard.
the question, are you an ABAPer?
No, I'm a basis person.
No, not you, not you. The whoever asked the question.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So you might be knowing, like, SAP is there, at least R3 is there for more than 20 years, right? And there are tons of reports and transactions. Why do
Maybe
they need
he's
ABAPers?
new, I guess. Yeah, that's a good
Sorry.
question. That's a good
So
question.
after
And
20,
what I'm saying,
after 20
he might
years,
be
like,
new. Fresher, I guess.
yeah. So because, like, see, when they develop an application, they develop a generic application so that it is usable, like, a generic, keeping everyone in like, in consideration. But in between, when it comes to any specific industry, their needs are very specific in terms of, like, either they might not need certain columns, they might need additional columns, additional information, some additional validations.
Yeah, thanks for adding. Yeah, like Vijay explained, see, client always don't go with the standard feature, whatever is available in the system. So he wants to customize something, and he wants only those specific information wants to see in the somewhere. He don't want to go with all of them. So that is a kind of a requirement client comes up with, and you have to go with a development.
Okay,
Thanks, Vijay,
so
for
my
adding.
question is, like, this rapid deployment, is there any difference between, like, embedded system versus the central hub system, whether the steps
No,
are the same?
same as it is same. There won't be any difference.
Okay,
Yeah.
so because you are creating the RFCs, you are activating all the CCAP nodes, you are activating the OData services. Okay,
Yes.
so
Everything will be done by the tasks itself.